Good day, children. Today we shall take another topic in English grammar, and that is lesson number 13, 14, and 15. Tenses, simple, present, past, and future. So these are tenses, that's simple present tense, simple past tense, and simple future tense. So that's our English grammar topic. What is a tense? Tense is the form of a verb which shows and tells us about the time of an action. I told you when we were explaining about subject and predicate, I told you what is a verb. Now when verb is an action word. Now when is the action word, or when is this action taking place? To tell that time, it is the tense that tells us about the time that the action has taken place. Right? Now we shall have a few pictures first. So here we have three boys. First one is Preet, second is Sam, and the third one is Krish. And they are doing something, so that's the action that we are doing. Now what exactly are they doing? We shall see. Now here, Preet dash a letter to his mother. Now what is Preet exactly doing? Then the second one is Sam, a letter to his friend. Third, Krish dash a letter tomorrow. Now they are doing some action. I've already told you they are doing some action of writing, if you have guessed it right. We shall see what Preet is doing. Preet writes a letter to his mother. Sam already finished. Is he doing any action? No. That means he finished writing the letter. And the third one is Krish is still thinking that he is going to write a letter tomorrow. So as you see this, Preet writes a letter. So we can see the action that Preet is doing. He's still writing a letter. What about Sam? Sam has finished writing a letter to his friend. And the third one, he has not even started, or he must have written something and he will write a letter. So the action which tells you write or writing is the action happening in the present. So that is present tense. Sam wrote a letter. Action which is already over. That is the past tense. Means already over. It's in the past. Krish will write means the action which is not over. He's thinking of writing. He is not writing. He has not finished writing, but he is thinking that he's going to write a letter tomorrow. So the action which is not over and the action which will take place in the future will be the future tense. So these are the three tenses we shall see in the next slide in more in detail. Well, there are three types of tenses. Tenses are of three types: past tense, present tense, and future tense. We shall see much more in detail about these three tenses. Our first one is present tense. Tells us about the actions or happenings in the present. The action that is taking place now at this hour. A habit or a universal truth. The verb ends with S when the noun is singular form. Now it's difficult to understand what I have written there. We will clearly be able to understand when we have a look at these examples. Here they go. The sun shines brightly in the sky. So as we know that the sun is the body that gives us heat and energy, and it is shining in the sky. It is a truth. It is a reality. And you cannot imagine even a single day without the sun shining. So we know it is a fact. So you know that the sun is shining. So that's the first one. Second sentence says like this: the stars are shining brightly. So when you observe the night sky, what do you see? You see that the stars are shining brightly. It is not like that you have seen it yesterday and you are saying, okay, the stars were shining brightly. Yes, that is also a possibility, but the action which is happening now at the present time is the present tense. I study every day in the evening. So this is how you're going to look where, or I should see you studying like this, studying very hard for your exams. So I study every day in the evening. So that is my habit. I get up early in the morning for the prayers, or my mother gets up early in the morning to prepare the snacks. So this is what, or to prepare the breakfast. So this is what is a habit which you do it every day on daily basis. Let's see the next. Verbs after I, you, we, they do not have s in the end. What is the meaning of this? Now have a look at the sentence. I study. You don't say I studies every day. No, that sounds a little weird and incorrect. So what is the correct form of verb? I study. So it is not having ies or s, right? So when you take at this look, have a look at the sentence. The sun shines. It is only singular. I also is singular, but it happens that sometimes you have to write the s and sometimes you don't have to write the s. Now these are the exceptional cases where you don't have to write s. When the noun or the pronoun begins with I, or the sentence begins with I, you, we, they. Even if you put you over here, you don't say you studies. You study hard. We study. You don't say we studies. It's wrong or it's incorrect. They, you don't write they studies. You say they study. So these, when the verb comes after these words, then you don't have to write s. But verbs after he, she, it have s in the end. For example, she studies very hard. You don't say she study very hard. It's incorrect. So after certain words you have to write s. After certain words you do not have to write s. So these are the different things you have to always remember. Keep in mind, when it is I, you, we, they, you do not have s for the verb. But when the verbs after he, she, it comes, then you have to add an s. Just remember that much. Past tense tells us about the actions already taken place. It mostly ends with ed. For example, the teacher spoke to me yesterday means the action of speaking by the teacher is already over. She spoke to me yesterday. The day is already gone. The action is done. Action is finished. So it is in the past tense. Now the next sentence is she washed. To wash is the main verb, but when it comes in the past tense, you add ed. So washed becomes the past tense verb. The clothes in the morning. So she washed the clothes in the morning. Next one, future tense. Future tense tells us about the action that will take place in the future. We have not seen the future. We cannot predict what the future will be. So the action also is unpredictable. The action, you don't know what will happen. So that's the reason why we add the word will happen in future. So let's take a look at the examples. Now these are the examples. The teacher will speak. The action is not done. So the action is going to take place. So the teacher will speak to me tomorrow. Let's take the next example. She will wear a red gown for the party. So this is how you're going to do your three tenses: the present tense, the past tense, and the future tense. Present tense deals with the action which is happening right now or in the present. Past tense speaks about the action already taken place, and future tense speaks about the action which is going to take place in the future. Uses of the tenses: verb, simple, past, present, and future. For example, you have this verb as to be. Simple present tense, when you say I, then you say am. You don't say I is or I are. You say I am, we are, you are, they are, he, she, it is. So that's the way you say it. Simple past tense. I was, action that is already taken place. Here you say I am, present tense, and here you say I was, we were, you were, he, she, it was, they were. Next one. What will happen in the future when you have the same words? I, we, you, he, she, it, they. I shall be or will be. We again shall be or will be. You, he, she, it, they will be. So when you're using the simple future tense, you have to you will be, he, she, it will be, they will be. So that's how you do the work. So that's how with one, I and we use shall be, will be, and with you, he, she, it, they you say will be. The next one is the have form of verb. I have, we have, you have, only he, she, it has, they have. Simple past tense, all the main words I, we, you, he, she, it, they only has one verb, that is had. I had, we had, you had, he, she, it had, they had. They had an ice cream, I had an ice cream. So it's very simple for simple past tense. It only has the verb had. So this is a supporting verb. Simple future tense, will have. So here we have all haves over here. I have, we have, you have. But when you go to the simple future tense, it's only one word added, that is will and shall. Shall have, will have, will have. There it goes. I, we, shall have or will have. You, he, she, it, they will have. So that's the way you use your verbs when you speak about these words I, we, you, he, she, it, they. So you have to remember what verbs you're using, and that will definitely improve your English. So let's go to the next slide. Now here we have the exercise in the simple present tense of the verb given in the bracket. For example, the first one, bees dash to sting to protect themselves from their enemies. Now you have to write these given words in the bracket in the present tense. How are we going to do it? Bees sting. I told you when the word is S, many plural words, then you have the singular verb. Okay. For example, it is bees when it is bee. Bee stings. But here it is bees. You then write sting. She knows. I told you when it is singular and she, it carries S in the end. So the verb here is to know. You have to write knows. Next one is Sherry speaks. Again a singular noun. carries the word S, verb S in the end. So to speak becomes speaks. Sherry speaks English fluently. Next one, fill in the blanks with the simple past tense of the verb given in the bracket. Raj dashed to revise his lesson yesterday. Now this verb is given here as to revise. Okay, now you have to write the present tense. Now present tense always carries ed in the end. Means to show us that action has already taken place. So Raj revised his lessons yesterday. They lived in his house for 3 years. He brought an expensive pen from Germany. Now you have to go through the previous list to check what I am talking about. Usually when the verbs are written in the past tense, I repeat, when the verbs are written in the past tense, it carries ed. So ed is the past tense form of verb. Fill in the blanks with the simple future tense of the verb given in the brackets. I dash to work hard next year to get good grades. I, future tense. Future tense will be will work. To work is the main verb. What are you going to add? Will work. Next is we will come. You will cook. So the word will come, will work, will cook, all these things will be in the future, the action which is not taken place. So that's all for your topic of tenses. That's simple present tense, simple future tense and simple past tense. Thank you for listening. God bless.